How's everyone doing? Everyone can hear me okay? Perfect. Well, first I'd like to start off by welcoming everyone here to an exciting day. I want to thank you all. This is an exciting time for us. We're here to announce Dan Watson as the new head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins. I'd like to thank the media for being here, being a part of this and covering this exciting time. I'd like to thank the players and staff that have joined us. It's obviously nice to, we have quite a few guys that are here in the summer, live here, call here home, and it's nice you guys came in and supported Dan and his family on such a great day. I'd like to welcome Dan's family here as well. It's nice for them to come. Wife Kim, daughters Kenzie, Eiley, and son Max here in the front row. So welcome to the organization and welcome to the Red Wing family. I'd like to thank Joe Napoli of the Toledo Walleye for his patience. Joe runs a fantastic organization down there. Just a real good person, a really good guy. He's been patient with us through this process, and I'd like to thank him for obviously allowing Dan Watson to be a part of this process and ultimately, allowing him to become the head coach of our organization. Lastly, I'd like to thank everyone for their patience. I think we started this 2 months ago. It's obviously a very important time in our organization. With the young players that we have coming through from the Detroit Red Wings, but also the winning culture that we want to get back to here. It's important. Grand Rapids has always been a team and an organization that has challenged for championships, and it's something that we look forward to getting back to. Dan himself has been part of the Toledo Walleyes and the Detroit Red Wings family for 13 years. For myself, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Dan quite, I want to say intimately. Maybe that's not the proper word, but that's the first word that comes to mind. But really quite well here over the last couple of years since I've taken over as general manager. The one thing that really stands out with Dan is his passion, his commitment to development, his commitment to culture. I think that's one thing with Dan was just the type of person that he is. You talk to the players and the people that work for him. He's just an outstanding human being, and players really want to go to the wall for him, and that's something that I think is very important, something that we hold high in terms of things that we look for in a head coach. And on top of it, his track record of winning. He's done an outstanding job with that organization down there. It's not an easy place. There's lots of turnover. There's new players coming in and out, but one thing that's been consistent is his ability to develop players quickly, make them feel comfortable, and put a good winning product on the ice. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Dan Watson as the next head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins.
Thank you, everyone, for coming here today, and obviously a really special day for myself and family. And who knew coaches had a highlight video? That's the first one I've seen. A lot of time players get those, but not coaches. But I want to thank Sean Horkoff, obviously Steve Yzerman, Dan Cleary, Chris Draper throughout the whole interview process. Really professional. I know it took a little bit of time, but loved everything about it and couldn't be more excited to be standing here today. The next part might sound like an Oscar acceptance speech, thanking a bunch of people, but when you're in a spot for so long, you build a lot of relationships. And so right now, I'd like to thank the entire Toledo Walleye organization. Joe Napoli, Neil Newcomb, my bosses over the past couple years, or for 13 years, been really instrumental to me standing here today, so I thank them. The entire front office, past and present. It's one thing I look forward to is building relationships with the front office here. I think it's important that everyone is involved in what we're trying to do, try and build something special here in Grand Rapids once again. I'd like to thank all of our support staff for making it, a fun place to be every single day. Showing up to the arena, seeing them, whether it's on game day, practice day, our support staff was huge. The past coaches, Alden Hirschfeld, Brent Bain, Matt Bollinger, and Andy Delmore, those are the 4 assistants I had over the course of the year. Very great guys, hard workers, something that we're going to be looking to build out our staff with again. It's just good people. That's going to be number one. Again, just the hockey staff that I've worked with since day one. Dave Alio, Brad Frederick, Matt Melzak, 14 years with them. Their equipment manager, trainer, and also our broadcaster. Those guys have helped me get here to where I am today as well. I just think the culture inside that locker room in Toledo is something we're going to try and bring here to Grand Rapids once again, and they're a huge part of it. So, thank you to them. Obviously, my family sitting right here, Kim, Kenzie, Eiley, Max, thank you very much for being here. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be some hard days at times, but thank you for being here. Getting into everything else here, it's an honor. It truly is an honor to be standing here today. You don't know how special this means for me. Obviously been with the Red Wings organization in terms of affiliation for 14 years. Something I've worked hard for, trying to be a good person, number one, trying to create a culture, a positive culture inside that locker room that's going to bleed out onto the ice. And that's something the players sitting here today, hopefully you guys will gain an understanding right from day one. That's what we're looking to do, is build a positive learning environment where everyone's going to be at their best and can be at their best. The expectations inside the locker room is be yourself and be yourself well. That's what we're looking for, and I can't wait to get started building relationships. Not only the guys sitting here today, which thank you so much for being here, it means a lot, but also everyone else that's going to be on the team. I'm really looking forward to building those relationships. I'm also very grateful for the previous 3 head coaches that was on that Griffins bench. As a young coach getting up into the coaching ranks, they opened the doors, they opened the meetings, and that allowed me to grow, allowed me to learn. So Jeff Blashill, Todd Nelson, good luck to him. He's battling the finals right now, and also Ben Simon. So really want to thank them as well for opening their doors to me. Again, first order of business is to hire a staff, a good staff, made with good people, people who care, people who want to work, people who want to get players better, and people who want to win. And we want to make sure that we put the right people in place so we have a strong staff for our players. Again, I'm excited to start building relationships. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate it. Very grateful and honored to be the next Griffins coach. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you.
We're thrilled, needless to say, we've gotten to know Dan over the years, interacting with him. Obviously, Toledo is our secondary affiliate, and just all the great things we've heard about him, and then dealing with him directly has been a joy for all of us. So we're excited to finally have you here, and I guess that leads me to the first question, Dan, is, given the fact you had a .700 winning percentage in 13 years in Toledo, what took so long?
Just being patient, and obviously the 4 people sitting right here in my family, they're number one. They're the most important people in my life, and this is a big move. It really is, and something that we considered very carefully and make sure it's the right decision for us, and now is the right time.
Don't want to leave the walleye behind here for very long, but obviously get your thoughts, and you kind of touched on that a little bit, but just to expand a little bit on feelings of pulling away from a city like that. Not just the city, but the fan base there is, it's as loyal a following as you're going to find in minor pro hockey, sold out every night. I mean, we went down to a playoff game and got to experience it. It was phenomenal. It's going to be tough, I'm sure, to pull away from there.
Yeah, I think it was a good playoff game, too, the big comeback victory. But, it is a special place. It really is. The 8,000 fans every single night, win or lose, they're going to be behind you. Just a great organization run by Joe Napoli, Neil Newcomb, who I mentioned. It's one of those places I really wanted to bring a championship there. We were close. We were close twice. Again, if they keep knocking on that door, something special is going to happen for that organization.
Well-deserved opportunity for you, Dan Watson, a name that certainly has risen in the ranks here very, very much so over the last several years with all your accomplishments down there. Obviously, coming to Grand Rapids now, you never won that championship in Toledo, but my goodness, you accomplished everything you could in the regular season and long runs in the playoffs. So you're just saving that championship for Grand Rapids now, aren't you?
Hey, that sounds great to me. That's what we're working towards. You know, it's about getting players better, but also having the ability to win. And it's a fine line you have to walk. You've got to be able to do both. We've done a really good job of that down there, and I'm looking forward to bringing that here.
Now, obviously, coming to Grand Rapids and taking over the reins here, it's one thing to get this job. It's another thing to come at such a critical time in the Red Wings rebuild. You're going to be responsible for some great young hockey players and will play a big role, no doubt, in the Red Wings getting back to prominence in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, and I think that's why this opportunity is so exciting. It's a really, really important time for the Red Wing organization. I think the fans are extremely lucky to be able to see these young guys who will hopefully one day be hoisting the Stanley Cup for the Red Wings. And for me to be a part of that, it's huge. I'm looking forward to working with them every day.
You coached down in Toledo. Tyler Spezia had a chance to visit with him this morning. I think he echoes the feelings of all the guys that have played for you over the years. He said the best. Thoughts about that?
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate that. Yeah, and you know what? I'm a player's coach, and I want to build relationships with all these guys. I want them to know that I care about them personally. It's not just their hockey career. It's about them as individuals, as people, whether it's their family, themselves. That's what I care about. And I think as long as you can do that, that's when you start to bring out the best in everybody.
I think we all agree this is a great hire. Needless to say, we're thrilled to have you here, Dan. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's open it up. I guess we'll go with the one-on-ones now, so all the media, I think we get the Toledo Blade is here as well. Not surprising given how much everybody down in Toledo loves Dan Watson, but now we get to love him here in Grand Rapids. So we'll go with the one-on-ones with Dan now, and I know we've got a little presentation here, I think, a jersey. Yeah.
And we'll do one more photo op with Dan and the head coach of the Grand Rapids Rise, Kathy George. All right, that concludes the press conference. Thanks everyone for coming, and media will do one-on-one interviews up front.